Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast. This is your host, Brittany, and we are joined today by Caitlin of Rocks Doggie Wear. So Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
So I am a seamstress, and so I make dog bandanas, pet accessories, collars, leashes, and I also design some items that I have manufactured, like harnesses and collars and leashes as well. And I just really love dogs, so I took my passion for sewing and my passion for dogs and combined them to make my little business.
That's awesome. So for the stuff that Top Rocks makes, do you sew it by hand? Do you have a sewing machine? Is it like a combination of several methods? Like, how do you normally go about your process?
So yeah, I use a sewing machine for almost everything. I cut everything out with a pattern that I made and sew everything up. I kind of do it like an assembly line. Like every night I cut so many out, and then I make so many, and then I sew them up. And I used to make cauliflowers, and I would hand sew those, but they're just so time consuming, and they're not as popular because I kind of did mine differently than the ones that you see all over the place. Mm-hmm. So I don't really do those as much anymore. So.
And do you do any kind of custom orders? Like, do you put names on anything or like monograms?
Oh, yeah. So if anybody ever wants a custom order, they can just message me and I will add anything that they want on there. I've had like business logos, obviously the pets' names. Like they wanted a gender reveal bandana one time. Somebody
that's cute.
An engagement bandana. So yeah, I use a Cricut and vinyl to do that. So but yeah, I do also add a lot of vinyl designs that I come up with. They're mostly words to some bandanas as well to give them some flair.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get started? You said you love sewing and you love dogs, of course. So how did you kind of take that step into starting your own business and turning your passions into a business?
Well, I also I worked in like a 9-to-5 regular job, like forever, and I really dislike working for the man. So I wanted to start this business, and my ultimate goal is to quit that job and be able to do this full time. I started in the end of 2017. I was doing a lot of craft shows back then, and then COVID happened, so I started building on my online presence because people weren't gathering anymore and doing events. And so then now I'm working on mostly online platforms.
Mm-hmm. And where did the name Top Rocks come from?
So another one of my loves is west, like Arizona and the Red Rocks. And I do have an aunt that lives out there, and I go and visit her a lot. And my mom and I go hiking a lot, and I love those rocks. They're so pretty. I'm eventually going to move out there. And I don't know, the name is so weird to me because initially I wasn't going to make pet stuff with my business. I don't even know what I was going to do, but I just really like the name Top Rocks because I wanted to be on top of the rocks. And so I started doing the doggy wear, and Yeah, it's not the cute little name
Yeah,
that some other bandana people make, but at
I
this
think
point, we
it's
can't
unique.
really change it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unique to you and your interests and your passions, and you just have to stay authentic to yourself. So I think it was a good choice. I think it's a cute little name.
Thanks.
So, what are some of your featured products? And I think I saw some Ohio State stuff. I went to Ohio State, so obviously a big fan. But what are some of those like featured products, or maybe like some of your best sellers? What are some of those?
So my Ohio State ones are definitely bestseller. I am officially licensed by OSU to sell those. So I do everything legal in my business. I don't try and steal anybody's trademarks. So during the fall, it's Buckeye season and Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are like the biggest ones. And but I would say my OSU ones are definitely my top selling bandanas, especially the Script Ohios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually saw those on your website earlier, and I was like, "Oh, these are really cute."
Yeah.
So
and then
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I started with the Buckeye with the helmet design too. Those are a top seller as well. Like I don't hand stitch. I stitch every single color together to make it look like their helmets, and that's the other top selling bandana in the OSU collection.
Okay, I'll have to look for that one. So if people want to purchase a bandana, a leash, or any of your products, I know that you're both online and you're also in some stores. So will you kind of list out where people can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Amazon. Just look up Rocks Doggie Wear, and you should be able to find my little storefront. Rockscreations.com is my personal website. You can find me on Etsy at etsy.toprockscreations. I have a small TikTok shop if you want to find me on there, as well as I am in some consignment stores in the Columbus, Ohio area. Nom Nom Nom. They have 2 locations. They're a dog treat bakery and they sell my bandanas. And I'm in 2 Painted Tree locations where it's hundreds of vendors in one location under one roof. So you can find me in Cincinnati and you can find me in Knoxville, Tennessee as well.
Oh, awesome. Well, we hope to see a lot more work from you, and I hope that your business keeps growing. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.